Do you know exactly how fatigued your muscles are right at this very moment? According to groundbreaking research from leading international medical universities, a staggering 82% of people who exercise regularly are completely misreading their muscle fatigue levels. This could be the real reason why your muscles aren't growing, no matter how hard you train. What's even more alarming is that verified large-scale clinical studies have shown that incorrect fatigue assessment can reduce your workout effectiveness by up to 67%. That means more than 2/3 of your sweat and effort might be going to waste. The hidden signals your muscles are sending. Muscle fatigue isn't something you can judge by simply feeling tired. Advanced medical research teams have identified scientific indicators that can precisely measure your muscle fatigue levels. The first critical signal is your strength decline rate. For healthy adults, experiencing a 15% to 20% decrease in strength when repeating the same exercise is considered normal fatigue. However, if this number exceeds 30%, you've already entered a state of excessive fatigue. Measuring this is simpler than you think. Test the same movement before, during, and after your workout. If you could do 20 push-ups before training, but only 14 afterward, that's a 30% decline, which falls within the normal fatigue range. The second crucial indicator is your heart rate recovery pattern. According to collaborative research by internationally recognized sports medicine experts, if your heart rate doesn't drop by at least 25 beats per minute within 1 minute after exercise, your muscle fatigue is excessive. In normal recovery states, your heart rate should drop to 70% of maximum within that first minute. The third measurement is your subjective fatigue score. This RPE method rates your fatigue from 1 to 10. And analysis by globally respected medical expert groups confirms that scores exceeding 8 points dramatically increase muscle damage and recovery delays. Warning signs your muscles are whispering. These basic measurements aren't enough. Meta-analyses published by Global Medical Research teams have revealed additional hidden muscle fatigue signals. Muscle tremors are your first warning. If your muscles shake or twitch for more than 5 minutes during or after exercise, this indicates energy depletion and temporary nervous system dysfunction. Continuing to train in this state will cause muscle fiber damage rather than growth. Muscle stiffness is equally important. If your muscles remain rigid 6 hours after exercise, excessive lactic acid accumulation and inflammatory responses are occurring. Normally, muscle flexibility should recover to 80% or more within 2 to 4 hours. Sleep pattern changes are easily overlooked but crucial indicators. Research published in prestigious international medical journals reveals that excessive muscle fatigue increases deep sleep onset time by 40% and doubles nighttime awakenings. The scientific secret of optimal exercise volume. So exactly how much should you exercise? Clinical trials by world-class research teams have produced remarkable findings. The optimal exercise volume for muscle growth can be precisely calculated based on individual fitness levels and recovery capacity. The core formula converts weekly exercise volume to sets per kilogram of body weight. For beginners, the optimal range is 0.5 to 0.8 sets per kilogram of body weight weekly. A 70 kilograms person should perform approximately 35 to 56 sets per week. Divided across 3 weekly workouts, this equals 12 to 19 sets per session. However, this formula changes for intermediate and advanced trainees. Internationally validated large-scale cohort studies show that intermediate trainees with over 1 year of experience need 0.8 to 1.2 sets per kilogram weekly, while advanced trainees require 1.2 to 1.8 sets per kilogram for continued muscle growth. Your personal fatigue monitoring system. Now let's build your personalized fatigue monitoring system. Using methods validated by leading international medical universities, measure your resting heart rate immediately upon waking each morning. If it's 5 beats per minute, higher than usual, yesterday's workout intensity was excessive. Reduce that day's exercise intensity to 70% of normal. Perform simple functional tests before exercising. Try basic movements like squats or push-ups at 50% of your usual maximum repetitions. If these feel harder than normal, reduce that day's workout volume by 20%. During exercise, rate your subjective fatigue. Every 15 minutes on a 1 to 10 scale. Rest for 5 minutes when reaching 7 points, and finish that exercise. When hitting 8 points, recovery speed reveals your limits. Recovery speed is the most reliable indicator for determining your exercise limits. Analysis by globally recognized medical expert groups shows that recovery patterns can predict optimal exercise frequency and intensity with 98% accuracy. If your muscle condition doesn't recover to 90% of pre-exercise levels within 24 hours, your current exercise volume exceeds your recovery capacity. Reduce frequency from 3 to 2 sessions weekly or lower intensity to 80% of current levels. Conversely, if you recover completely within 12 hours and feel even better than before, your current exercise volume is insufficient for your capacity. Gradually increase volume for better muscle growth. Hidden effects of nutrition and hydration. Meta-analyses by global medical research teams reveal surprising connections between exercise fatigue and nutritional status. When protein intake falls below 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight, the same workout produces 35% higher fatigue levels. Carbohydrate timing around exercise critically affects fatigue. Groups consuming 1 gram of carbohydrates per kilogram of body weight 1 hour before exercise showed 28% lower fatigue levels compared to those who didn't. Hydration status cannot be ignored. Just 2% dehydration reduces strength by 15% and increases fatigue by 25%. Drink 150 to 200 milliliters of water every 15 minutes. During exercise for optimal hydration. Fatal impact of sleep and stress. Research in prestigious international medical journals shows that exercising with less than 6 hours of sleep increases muscle fatigue by an alarming 45%. Compared to well-rested individuals, sleep quality is even more crucial. Poor deep sleep reduces strength output by 22% and slows recovery by 40%. Because growth hormone secretion drops to half normal levels, chronic stress elevates cortisol levels by 60% above normal, making muscle breakdown more active than muscle synthesis during exercise, potentially creating counterproductive results. Age and gender differences in fatigue. Clinical trials by world-class research teams clearly identify muscle fatigue pattern differences across age and gender. Recovery speeds remain similar between people in their 20s and 30s, but those in their 40s require 30% longer recovery time than those in their 20s. People over 50 need 50% more recovery time, requiring adjusted exercise frequency and intensity. Gender differences are fascinating. Women report 15% higher subjective fatigue at the same relative exercise intensity, but show 10% less actual strength decline than men, indicating superior fatigue tolerance. Environmental effects on muscle fatigue. Large-scale cohort studies analyze how seasonal and environmental factors affect muscle fatigue levels. Summer heat and humidity increase fatigue by over 25% for the same exercise. When temperature exceeds 28 C with humidity above 70%, reduce exercise intensity to 80% of normal levels for safety. Winter reduces fatigue by 15% compared to summer, but increases injury risk due to reduced muscle flexibility. Extend warm-up time by 50% or more during cold weather. Indoor air quality matters too. Carbon dioxide levels exceeding 1000 ppm reduce oxygen supply efficiency, increasing fatigue by 20% for identical exercise. Advanced technology for precise measurement. Wearable devices now enable precise fatigue monitoring. Latest research from leading international medical universities has developed real-time muscle fatigue monitoring through heart rate variability analysis. Heart rate variability measures microscopic changes in heartbeat intervals, accurately assessing autonomic nervous system balance. When this drops 30% or more below normal, you're in excessive fatigue. Electromyography measurement is another option. By measuring muscle electrical activity to assess nerve transmission efficiency, muscle fatigue begins when EMG signal frequency drops 20% or more below normal during exercise. Daily monitoring checklist you can actually use. Here's your practical home-based daily muscle fatigue assessment method. Measure resting heart rate for 1 minute immediately upon waking in bed. If it's 5 beats higher than usual, make that day a rest day or reduce exercise intensity. Simple grip strength tests are useful. Measure both hands 3 times each, calculate the average, and consider yourself in systemic fatigue. If results are 10% or more below normal, before exercise, perform basic movement tests. Try 10 squats and 10 push-ups. If these feel harder than usual, reduce that day's workout volume by 30%. During exercise, rate fatigue from 1 to 10 after each set. When consecutive scores reach 8 or higher, finish exercises for that muscle group. After exercise, measure heart rate at 5 and 10 minutes to check recovery patterns. If heart rate remains 130% or more of resting level after 5 minutes, the workout was excessive. Use these scientifically backed methods to find your perfect exercise volume. Stop wasting effort with inaccurate fatigue assessment and start experiencing real muscle growth results. If this video helped you, please subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. I'll return with more valuable information for your healthy fitness journey.